Hi everyone, I'm Maria Patsimil Plaza. Today, let's talk about immunity. First off, what is immunity? Immunity is the way in which the body can protect itself from invasion by a pathogenic microorganism and provide a defense against their harmful effect. The non-specific immunity is also called as natural or innate immunity. It is the first line of defense against any infectious agent. The first type of non-specific immunity is the external defense system. It is composed of physical, chemical, and biological barriers that function together to prevent most infectious agents from entering the body. One example of this is the skin, which acts as a physical barrier to keep pathogens out. Even openings in the skin, such as the mouth and eyes, are protected by saliva, mucus, and tears, which contain an enzyme that breaks down bacterial cell walls. The next type of non-specific immunity is the internal defense system. It is composed of both cells and soluble factors that have specific and essential functions. One example is inflammation, a localized response of injured tissues that destroys pathogens and promotes healing. The non-specific immunity may also be classified as species immunity, racial immunity, and lastly, individual immunity. Species immunity is when a given organism is capable of producing disease in one animal species and not in others. Anatomic differences between species also determine species immunity. Example is, birds are resistant to anthrax, but humans are susceptible. It is simply because higher body temperature of birds kills Bacillus anthracis. Racial immunity is possessed by a race among one animal species. There may be difference in susceptibility. Racial immunity is determined by difference in socioeconomic status, habitat, culture, feeding habits, environments, and genetic. Let's take this for an example. African race are more resistant to malaria and yellow fever, whereas Asian or Americans are susceptible to the same infection. The third one and the last one is individual immunity, which is person-to-person differences in susceptibility. Individual immunity is determined by various factors such as health, status, nutritional status, previous illness, personal hygiene, and genetic differences. One example is individual with genetic deficiency of glucose-6-phosphate dehydrogenase are resistant to malaria. The next type of immunity is the specific immunity. It is also called as acquired or adaptive immunity. The defense system that protects the body against pathogenic organisms and other type of diseases such as cancer. It allows the body to recognize, remember, and respond to specific stimulus and antigen. The types of specific immunity include the active immunity and the passive immunity. In active immunity, antibodies are produced from individuals' own immune system in response to a foreign antigen. In this, the naturally acquired active immunity and artificially acquired active immunity are included. In the naturally acquired active immunity, immunity that comes from infections are encountered in daily life. With the second one, which is the artificially acquired active immunity, it is stimulated by initial exposure to specific foreign macromolecules through the use of vaccines to artificially establish a state of immunity. One example is the BCG vaccine for tuberculosis disease. The next one is passive immunity. And here, antibodies produced elsewhere are given to the individual. In the naturally acquired passive immunity, antibodies transferred from mother to fetus across the placenta and to the newborn in colostrum, and breast milk during the first few months of life. Example, the placental transfer of IgG from the mother to fetus during pregnancy that generally lasts 4 to 6 months after birth, and the IgG-A and the IgG found in human colostrum and milk of babies who are nursed. In artificially acquired passive immunity, the introduction of antibodies that are formed by the animal or the human to an individual to prevent and treat infection. One example of this is the rabies vaccine and snake
That's all for my video. Thanks for watching.